All right, this is page 152. We made it through page 151. Let's move on. We're going to talk more about basically transforming hours into minutes and then also adding big blocks of time. So stay with me on this one. All right, so let's do a little review. 1 hour is how many minutes? Super easy, 60. 1 hour, 60 minutes. 2 hours is how many minutes? 120. That was from the other page. Now, how about 10 hours? How can we figure that out? Well, we could keep adding and adding and adding like on that chart, but I don't want to do that anymore. So 10 hours is going to be 10 times 60 because it's going to be 10 hours and each one of them has 60 minutes in it. So you see how this is the same as 2 times 60. And that's 120. So 10 times 60, we know whenever we multiply by 10, we're happy because we just take the number 60 and we put another 0 on it. And so 10 hours is 600 minutes. So now let's get a little bit more tricky. Don't be scared. She says, what about 12 hours? If I have 12 hours, each hour has 60 minutes. How many minutes total is all that? It's a lot. So, but we know now we do 12 times 60 to find out how many minutes are in 12 hours because we have 60 minutes and 12 hours. Okay, do you remember what we do when we have a 0 here? We have two options. We can get rid of this 0. Remember, we just kind of ignore it. We go 12 times 6, and if you know your multiplication facts, you know that 12 times 6, actually I'm going to do it the long way. 2 times 6 is 12, carry my 1. It's 72, and now I have to put my 0 back in. So 12 times 60 is 720. So 12 hours is 720 minutes, all right? I hope that makes sense. Now, we're on page 152, and you can follow along with me. I'm going to do the 7 hours and 50 minutes equals how many minutes? Well, I know that 50 minutes is fine. I don't have to worry about him, but what about the 7 hours? Well, to find out how many minutes that is, I go 7 hours times 60 minutes. And we'll do the same thing like we were doing. We ignore this 0. 7 times 6 is 42. Remember, 42 is best. And then I put my 0 back in there. So is 7 hours and 50 minutes 420 minutes? No, it's not because of this extra 50 minutes. So when you see 7 hours and 50 minutes, that's like saying 7 hours plus 50 minutes. So if this is 7 hours, 420, then we add this extra 50 minutes right here to find the total. 2 plus 5 is 7. So it's going to be 470 minutes. 7 hours and 50 minutes is the same as 470 minutes. Okay, let's do one more that has mixed numbers in it. So we have 12 hours and 3 minutes, which is the same as 12 hours plus 3 minutes. So how many minutes is 12 hours? Well, we could kind of cheat and say it's right here because we already did it. It's 720 minutes plus this 3 minutes. 720 plus 3 equals 723. That equals 723 minutes. All right, so I think that there are more problems on your page that are like that. Hopefully that'll get you started. I want to move quickly to number 4, and I want to do letter C, and it is adding up a bunch of time. So pretend like you had different stages of driving, and you first drove, so it's going to be C, 2 hours and 55 minutes, and then you got gas, and then you drove another 2 hours and 46 minutes, and then you need to stop for food, and you drove for another 1 hour and 51 minutes. how long did it take you to drive? Well, this is like adding, and we're going to actually carry just like we normally do, but it's a little bit different. You have got to add these separately because you can't add minutes and hours together. You have got to add all your minutes together and then your hours together. So let's go ahead and do that. That's easy. 5 plus 6 plus 1, so we have 5 plus 6 is 11, plus 1 is 12. Carry my 1. 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 1 is 10. I love tens. And plus 5 is 15. So it's going to be 152 minutes. And how many hours? 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 5. Okay, it's going to be, your trip would have taken 5 hours and 152 minutes. Well, we don't ever talk about 152 minutes. We don't know what that means. So the problem is that this 152 minutes is a bunch of hours. This, we need to change into hours. So how many minutes are in an hour? Well, 60. So if I take away 60 in here, this is a little tricky, 2, and then 15 minus 6 is 9. If I take away an hour here, I'm going to add the hour here. So it's going to be 6 hours and 92 minutes. Well, this is still over an hour. So let's go to another one. So let's take away 60 minutes from here, which is the same as an hour. And so we're going to have 32 minutes. But this 60 minutes needs to go over here. So this becomes 7 hours and 32 minutes. So that trip took 5 hours, 152 minutes. But that's really difficult for us to figure out. So we want it to look like 3 hours and 32 minutes. And this part is a little tricky, but this is, you're being introduced to it, and don't worry about it too much. So let's do another one. We're going to do D real quick. Pretend it's the same kind of thing, this long trip. You're going to Arizona or something, someplace fun and warm. You have 3 hours, 48 minutes. Remember, we have to add the hours together and the minutes together separately. And then what we do is we take any extra hours from all these minutes and move them to the hours side. This is D. So let me add these real quickly. This is 17. 6 and 3 is 9. This is 14. 14 hours and 97 minutes. So that is a correct answer. However, it's not how we usually write it. So let's take an hour away from here. 1 hour is 60 minutes. 7, 3. And we're going to move that hour over here. So we have to add 1 hour. That's going to be 15 hours and 37 minutes. That's how long that trip to Arizona took. And there you have it.